I'm back. I'm not gonna go into any detail of course, why I was gone for at least for as long as I was. So with that, I'm just gonna go in and just get this done as much, and see where the waters are at this point. If I'm, oh, what is it? Are you upset that I'm recording without you? Is that it? Is that why? Huh? Is that why? My cat. So, with that, I'm going to see if I can, where I am after this. If I'm still feeling it. Even though, usually I'm not the one to do, to even have any questions of whether or not I want to do this anymore. I'm not the unusual one to do that kind of thing, you know. Since it's become such a trend, I guess, these days for people that start YouTube and then all of a sudden they're done. Not going after anyone or anything like that. It's just always kind of seems like a little odd or whatever. Not odd. I don't know why the hell I'm even talking about this anyways. But, I mean, it just seems rather like you start it, but then all of a sudden you then don't feel it and whatever, and you're done. I don't get it. It's not just one person. It's almost many others, and even people that are not within the vinyl community, they just do it. But this is not about YouTube. This is more so about a fucking CD update. Because the last one I did was all vinyl, so this one's going to be all CD here. So at that, let me just get right in. I guess I'm going to have to go back all the way to June with this. Because of some of these were starting to get piled up and pretty much starting around June. Because it was like, May was like the last time I did a bit of like a CD update or something like that. Was it? Yeah. And so some of this already was kind of piling up by June. So at that, let's get right in. Because I'm wasting too much time. Because look at that, it's gonna be 3 minutes in. All right. So the first one here was finally stoked for this Walmart here in town to actually get this in when this was released around pretty much on what is it? Oh shit! I forgot about Record Store Day. This was a Record Store Day release, but of course it's from a popular band. Of course. Being, of course, Metallica, being, of course, the Garage Day Revisited EP, a.k.a. the $5.98 EP. Of course, stoked to get this. This is definitely, I think, when it comes to Essential Metallica, this is probably one of the last essential ones I think anyone really needs, because, after, like, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets. Fuck And Justice for All, and because of it, it's such a long album. So with that, there, I don't want to do this whole video on just showing how these copies look. So with that, I was finally happy to get this. Great EP, even though it's all covers, it's a great EP. And one little rant. I love how on the EP, They joke about how, no, right here, it's in the back of this, not very produced by Metallica. Yet, on the album that, the first album to have new bass player right there, Jason Newsted, even though that was a professional sounding album, it sounds like shit compared to this. So, yeah, thanks Metallica. Not very produced. We can't, how come on the produced down we can't hear freaking Jason Newsted? Fuck you, Lars. Alright. So this next one, not essential thing to get, but I wanted this just for the other tracks here. Of course, Black Sabbath, the Dio years, mostly for the exclusive recordings, being of course for the stuff that was recorded before the Devil You Know, which was of course the last thing that Ronnie James Dio did, and pretty much in general. So definitely want one of this. Of course, I really I didn't really listen to a lot of this anyways. But to be quite honest, I already heard most of these songs anyways. Some of these are from the Heaven and Hell album. I already have Mob Rules and of course the Dehumanizer. So it's really not completely, but for the fact that it has some recordings with Ronnie James Dio that were at the time exclusive and still are, yeah, had to have it. Did a review on this one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Michael Schenker Fest, Resurrection, just a solid album from start to finish. Nothing bad at all. So great album. All right, time to three that I gotten. This is pretty much the rest of what I had gotten from Bip Bop Boom. Because in my vinyl update, I showed and talked about the stuff that I got from here, which of course I did a little like unopening video on Bip Bop Boom's package they had sent me last month, which was a great package. No, not 2 months ago, July. With that, it's time to show the CDs that I got from him. First one here, a fix. I guess that's the kind of way you talk about it. Basically a one-man band kind of project from 3-man or something like that. Out of I kind of forgot where they're kind of from, but the style here is kind of like more like black speed metal. The one band I could compare them to is not just Bathory, but Cat out of Poland. So it has that sort of Venom. Almost slightly more darker new wave or British heavy metal. Like you can hear Venom, you can hear that, and even a little bit German at times, like Accept. It's a real not a bad album at all. Rough recording, but to be quite honest, it just adds to the charm of the whole feel. So it's actually a great album here. I pretty much like everything. It's nothing truly extraordinary, but it definitely has a charm to it that's all good. And compared to a lot of the modern production stuff, especially even when it comes to certain that new wave or traditional heavy metal bands I want to kind of record in pristine, right here, this is freaking raw and has a pretty good guitar tone to it. But still, not to trash anything or at all. This is just a solid little album. Not little album, but just a solid album. Next one here, of course, from that same stack that I got from Bip Bop Boom is, of course, Back in Time from Action out of Canada. I think I don't know what video, but I think I might have said that I'm not a big fan of Action. Not to say that I'm a little disappointed to have anything from them. It's just that when it comes to a lot of the other new wave or traditional heavy metal bands, these guys didn't hit me as much but some of this stuff on the album is actually good. It's again not mind blowing, glare and everything. Just kidding. It's not mind blowing, but it's not amazing. The one thing that always kind of kills me some of this is the vocals. I can never. It's like I always heard people that I can never get behind King Diamond and that. But to be quite honest, King Diamond's vocals, when I first heard his stuff, I actually loved them at the beginning. So unique. This guy right here, something about his vocals just doesn't do. And when he's not doing his high register stuff, it's actually fine. But I don't know. Some of it just doesn't work to as much. However, safer for the cover of Tyron Pace's Criminal, which is actually probably one of the best things of the sound, but either way, it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. What? Are you upset that I'm recording? Is that it? What is it? Alright, finally the last one out of that batch of stuff from Bip Bop Boom is, of course, October 31. Of course, Bury the Hatchet. Now this sounds freaking great. This is a killer album right here. Of course, King Valley from Deceased. But this is definitely not like death metal or stuff like that. And the vocals that it provides isn't in that sort of death metal feel. More so just has something that fits the sort of sound. It's kind of like Motorhead almost. But Motorhead with something like you would expect from like New Renaissance Records here and there. This is a great album. Of course, there's a cover on here, Being Under My Gun from Icon. Just a good cover. I think that there's another one here as well. I can't remember, but other than that, this is definitely a great album. Definitely a highly recommended album for those. And I'm definitely going to have to get some more October 31. Yeah, and I just never had very many October. So I just have like one Deceased album, being, of course, the debut, Luck of the Corpse. Alright, that's pretty much it from there. I got all these three. Okay, pretty much were all from Bip Bop Boom. So with that, just some good stuff there. Though it's very action, alright. But anyways, now this next one was of course was a package for somebody that was given to me. But I didn't do a video unpacking this one. Because I kind of wanted to give this one a listen before I did, since I wanted to kind of give some more better respect to my good friend over at Forces of Steel. Of course, the runner of that place being, of course, Painkiller. Of course, it's Double Dealer, their debut album, Japanese band. The guitar player came from a band called Concert of Moon. I reviewed one of their albums last year. It was their more recent one. So, of course, hooks me up with this. Good album. Definitely a good album for sure. Heavy at times. Of course, it's Japanese metal. But it definitely has a good feel to it. Not nearly as Deep Purple sounding or Rainbow sounding as that. But there are times where it shows. Even not as much, but it's definitely a little more on this sort of metal side and everything. It's definitely a good album for sure. So with that, just a great album. I'll have to do a whole video probably dedicated to this album in a way. So with that, I'm gonna move on. And I gotta move on because if I didn't talk so much about that YouTube thing, I probably wouldn't be here at almost a little over 13 minutes. Alright, of course, finally, so some of the more recent pickups that I just got. Because that stuff that was here, that I had for a month now. Got this one like, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week I had gotten this. Of course, there's the new one from Alice in Chains, being Rainier Fog. You know what? It's a solid, decent album from Alice in Chains. Really any different. Of course, this is the first that I have from the William Duvall, right, era of this band, being, or just post Lane Stanley. A solid album. Definitely a little bit more sludgier kind of sounding, like a more sludgier kind of take on something like maybe Facelift or something like that. But it's just still a solid album. It's definitely, I haven't really heard a whole lot from the William Duvall stuff right now. I haven't heard a whole lot of it, but, so I can't really say which one I like the most, and to be quite honest, I'm still pretty new to Alice in Chains, even though I've listened to like Man in Box almost a couple of times, and I've had a cassette copy of Facelift for as long as, but still it's a decent album right here. I gotta give it much more spins, but I definitely like this album. To say that this is just as good as anything from the Lane Stanley era is probably pushing it, but to be quite honest, it's just enjoyable. Though I think one of my favorites up here, of course, being Rainy or Fog, the one you know, heavy track, the kick off the album right now. I think also So Far Under was another one that I also really liked as well. So with that, it's a good album from Mouse and Chains. This one I also ended up picking up over at one of the Walmarts in Reno. Actually, I picked this one up. Decided to give this band a try. Hearing about everyone either raves about this band or so or not. Of course, I'm talking about Greta Van Fleet with, of course, their debut mini album titled From the Fires. Just solid 70s inspired rock, basically, or hard rock, whatever. I don't know if I could call it completely hard rock, even though it has some of that. It's like, for early 70s kind of stuff, yeah, this is definitely some 70s inspired hard rock, for sure. Even though it has a bit of a Led Zeppelin thing, but at the same time, I hear a little bit, also at times, a bit of Budgie here and there. But still, it's actually not a bad listen here. I actually think these guys are not that bad to begin with. Though I think the best song off this one, of course, is Highway Tune. Definitely a bluesy hard rocker for sure. So, good mini album there. Definitely also looking forward to their full-length album that will be coming out within the next month. So, I'm also definitely pretty much gonna be looking out for this band more and more in the years and see how they progress. But still, I don't want to talk too much. So, Greta Van Fleet with From the Fires. Now, the last one. This was definitely the one I was waiting for before I even did this, and I still got one more thing to show before I end off. Iron Maiden with, of course, No Prayer for the Dying. This, of course, is an original, first Japanese press, which, of course, was a part of the Heart Attack 1991, or 90, I mean, series, which still means it's a first press, because it was the first time this was released in Japan, and the first time it was a part of a series. So, but yeah, I was looking out for I wanted to get a Japanese pressing of this one because I didn't like the change up that was done to the 98 remaster. I don't get it. Yeah, whatever, but you know what? Not a bad album. I always heard some people say how mediocre of a record this is, and to be quite honest, sure, it's not an amazing record from Iron Maiden, but at the same time, it's not a bad album to begin with. It's just, I don't know, it's just Iron Maiden. It's like you're not expecting anything completely different. I know for the fact, sure, that comes after Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Sure, it seems a little bit watered down to compare, but at the same time, it's a little bit more rockin', I guess you can say, than that one. Definitely just them just making just a straight up heavy metal record. Don't want to talk too much. I think one of my actual favorite songs off this one being the song Fate's Warning. Of course, Tail Gunner's a great opener. And of course, Mother Russia. But still, glad to have this down in my collection. Now, for the last one, 19 minutes here. Got this for my birthday. And I don't want to talk too much about this because I want to do a whole video also dedicated to this one. This, of course, being Saxon, Solid Book of Rock. Pretty much everything from Solid Ball of Rock up to about Into the Labyrinth. And, of course, includes even the DVDs that were included, like the bonus discs, everything all in this fucking box set right here. Remasters and everything. This is just a wild set here, and that's why I want to do a whole entire video dedicated to this whole freaking set. So with that, I'm going to end the video off here. It's been around 20 minutes long. So with that, I don't know if I'll be back. If I am, it's going to be permanent. So until then, this is Special Sam out I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.